Hey guys, it's Brent from Sink or Swim Scuba. I just wanted to do a quick truck talk about a blog post I did recently. I did a blog post about full face mask and surface applied air in public safety diving, and why it's not necessarily about brand name, it's about solving real operational problems in diving. So about 30 years ago, when I was a brand new public safety diver, I was talking to an old school cop. He was my lieutenant, and he was a great guy, great diver. And he was talking about the Interspiro AGA mask. And what he was talking, and I had never heard of the Interspiro AGA mask. I knew very little about diving as a new diver then. And he was saying, I wish this Interspiro company, if there's any way we could just get a demo of this mask, I would just love to play with it. He just wanted to try this Interspiro mask out. And once again, I'd never heard of it. So fast forward to today, after years of being a public safety diver and a instructor, public safety instructor, dive shop owner, all this other stuff, Interspiro technician, service center for OTS, all this stuff, I just was thinking back to that conversation. And this lieutenant was just hoping to get a demo. He didn't necessarily want one. He just wanted a demo. This was back when we had no budget for diving. We were all diving our own gear. And I was just thinking, if we can help any dive teams that do want a demo, we're happy to potentially ship you gear. We can train you. We can come out and do demos for you. We will work something out. I'm happy to help you with your needs. Some of the full face mask stuff can get a bit complicated, and it's not the kind of complication that enough internet research is going to steer you in the right direction. Sometimes I deal with teams and they're struggling through manufacturer's website trying to come up with the best solution for their needs. And when I was a public safety diver, to some extent, I did that too, because I didn't necessarily trust all the dive shops that I dealt with, and they weren't knowledgeable in public safety diving, and they weren't necessarily honest with you. One of the ways we excel at what we do is we're not trying to sell you anything. We're trying to partner with your team and get your needs met, get your mission met. And that's what we want to do with this. But back to the full face mask stuff, then that conversation, there's a lot of benefits to diving a full face mask. One of the benefits is that your face stays warm and dry. It's not exposed to the contaminants that are in the water, and that's huge. So anytime I'm diving in cold water, anytime I'm diving dirty water, I want to be in a full face mask. I also prefer comms as I can, particularly when I'm doing kind of some stuff that I could get entangled in. Now, there's two main categories of comm, and we'll go into this later, but there's hardline comm and wireless comm. A lot of teams think, oh, we would never want a hardline comm because we wouldn't want to get tangled. But I prefer to see public safety divers be tethered, and I prefer to see them on hardline comm. With hardline comm, it's basically an intercom that the surface tender can instantly talk to the diver can talk back. It's perfect communication, and the tender can hear what's going on with the diver. He can hear that the tender's starting to breathe hard and starting to get worked up, and he can say, hey diver, you doing okay? What's up? I hear you breathing, just checking in. What's your air? These kind of things. And that amount of communication goes really well just to keep a diver calm. I remember years ago on wireless comm doing long search patterns in shallow water looking for evidence or bodies or whatever else. And I was joking, and I would say, hey, surface, tell me a joke, sing me a song, do something. I'm bored. I've been in zero visibility water for 45 minutes or an hour, can't see anything. So just say something, and I would sing and be goofy, but it was nice to have something to do and some sort of communication. Now with wireless comm, it was much more kind of walkie-talkie based. It wasn't very perfect comm. Now the new power comms are much stronger, much more powerful. What we had back then, I believe, was a 5-watt comm, and that was we had the SSB 2010s or a version of that. Now what we normally sell teams are the PowerComm 3000 as a minimum, and that's 25 or 35 watts depending on which one you buy, and that's a lot of power and a good comm. But the perfect communication, you should go with the hardline comm, and that's the perfect communication back and forth. Diver hears everything. There's no say it again. You don't have to talk slowly or properly. You just say what you need to say, and it'll be heard on hardline comm. Now, a lot of divers are worried about going to hardline comm because of getting tangles, but a lot of departments are thinking surface supplied air is a great answer, and it kind of is. We sell the Interspiro surface applied system, and we do demos and stuff for it too. And it's a high pressure system, so it pumps air, high pressure air down to the diver, and the diver's got a regulator that reduces that pressure and makes it breathable. And it's a really slick system. It's a small, lightweight line. In that system, the surface is the diver's primary tanks. So as long as the surface tender switches tanks appropriately and keeps up with what's going on, the diver can never run out of air. So basically the diver has got a backup tank on his back. All his in-use tanks are on surface, and as he breathes through it, the tender is monitoring the diver's air. He'll switch the diver's tanks out as necessary or when needed. The diver carries on and doesn't even know his tanks were switched. He doesn't have to get out, walk through the mud, fool with switching the tank, pulling his gear off. It just happens. And then if something were to happen, that tender's not paying attention, the diver's got a tank on his back that automatically switches with this Interspiro system, so he doesn't even have to change, find a lever, flip a switch, do anything. It just switches automatically for him. So it's really slick. There's also a horn or a whistle to alert the tender when the diver gets low on air. So it's the most unique system I've ever seen from a public safety perspective, and it's going to add a lot of safety to surface supply or to diver and PSD diving stuff in general. So guys, this is my first video blog, and I'm stumbling through my words just a little bit because once again, this is my first blog, but you've got to start somewhere. It's not my first blog, but it's my first video blog. So one of the benefits of dealing with us is we don't want to just sell you gear. We want to partner with you and help you find the right gear, and we want to come demonstrate it for you. We're not just a dealer. We personally dive all of this stuff. I own all of the common full face masks, all of the Interspiro gear, all of the OTS gear, and I have my preferences between them, and I dive all of them, and I'm very familiar. So I would love to sit down with your team or have a Zoom meeting or even just a call and help you come up with solutions and help you walk through it. And whether that's dealing with sink or swim scuba buying for me or just helping you with another dive shop, I'm on board to help teams. I love public safety diving. I love public safety in general, and I want to be here to help you, and I am here. So just let me know what I can do for you, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you, guys. Bye.